Thorp's coming to an end of its natural life. Reprocessing's coming to an end. That will mean less jobs on the site, and you know, as a local authority, we're working extremely hard with Sellafield on a transformation programme to make sure the future outlook remains bright. And I believe we can do that because Sellafield spends £2 billion a year in the economy, and what we need is more stickability of that money in the local area, and creating the type of diversity that's been missing from the local economy for many years. That particular period of time was a golden era for Egremont. It really was. Obviously, the travelling workforce, they had a lot of disposable income. They were living in and around Egremont, and you know, filling the bars and the clubs every single night of the week.
We exhausted all the local skilled people and talent that could come in, and but you're absolutely right. A lot of the welders, the pipe fitters, came from various parts of the country. We had people come from the northeast, we had people coming from Scotland, Liverpool, Manchester area. So, you know, when you're talking about a workforce in the thousands, you know, boosting the existing Sellafield workforce, it was quite significant in terms of the number of people we needed.
Well, for us, everybody recognised at that time that West Cumbria was dominated by and dependent on the nuclear industry, and it badly needed to diversify. And it would not diversify if the Thorp plant opened. It would simply cement BNFL's position as king of the castle, if you like.
The boom didn't grind to a slow halt over a period of time, so it was almost like a car crash, and the area for a while went into a real decline as a result of the people in such numbers moving out. But I think that's the great learning for going forward, you know, for future developments.
Originally I was responsible for 900 people, that then stepped down to 700, and we're now down in the region of 470. The reason for the decrease has been to make sure that we didn't create a cliff edge that the business wouldn't have been able to absorb, so trying to release hundreds of people at the same time would potentially have meant that we wouldn't be able to provide people with meaningful employment in the future.
This change within our facility doesn't mean that somebody's career has come to an end. If anything, it's what we're trying to highlight to the workforce, is that the chances and the possibilities are probably there for them more so in the future than what they have been for the last 20 years as we change direction.
We're not a foundry, we're not a coal mine, we're not a Port Talbot. What we are is concluding reprocessing. And in concluding reprocessing, there will be elements of the Thorp operations that will cease. That brings change and opportunity.
Sellafield is a decommissioning site now. It's not a reprocessing site. And the benefits that come out of that are a wealth of knowledge and skills to take those skills elsewhere in the world.
I think it's a huge commitment to say, you know, we're coming to an end of reprocessing, we're shutting Thorp down, the Magnox is coming to an end, not just to say, you know, we need 3,000 less people on your way. You know, I think they're taking a responsible employer's position here, and you know, a responsible neighbour in terms of the community.
Thanks, Thorp. Sellafield is changing.